Alexa, open WikiHow.
Okay, here's WikiHow. Hi, ask me how to do anything.
How to take care of a turtle.
How to care for turtles. To care for a turtle, make sure its tank is at least 10 gallons of space for every 1 inch of shell length. Be sure to line the bottom of the tank with peat moss or soil, and include a basking rock so your turtle can sun itself. Then, add enough water for your turtle to swim in, which will vary depending on the species. Remember to set up a reptile light near the basking rock, and install a filter to keep the water clear. Feed your turtle a mix of turtle food, fresh vegetables, like carrots, lettuce, and invertebrates, like minnows or grasshoppers. If you would like each step read out in detail, say read steps.
Read steps.
Step 1. House your turtle in the largest possible enclosure. Keep your turtle in a large glass aquarium. As a rule of thumb, the enclosure's volume should be 10 US gal, 38 liters, per 1 in, 2.5 centimeters, of your turtle's shell length. Keep in mind your pet's exact space requirements depend on its species. If you have a juvenile turtle, be sure to find out how large it'll be when it's an adult. Suppose you buy your 4 in, 10 centimeters, juvenile turtle a 40 US gal, 150 liters, tank. If the turtle eventually grows to 12 in, 30 centimeters, that tank will be way too small. The tank should also have a secure cover to prevent your turtle from escaping. Additionally, aquatic turtles need water deep enough to swim. The water's depth should be at least twice the turtle's length. To continue, say next.
Next.
Step 2. Cover the bottom of the tank with peat moss or soil. Mix together equal parts of wood chips and peat moss or sand and soil. Line the bottom of the tank with about 2 to 3 in, 5.1 to 7.6 centimeters, of the mixture. Avoid lining the bottom of the tank with gravel. Your turtle could eat the small rocks and choke. To continue, say next.
Next.
Step 3. Make a basking area for your turtle. Make the layer of sand and soil or peat moss and wood chips higher on one side of the tank. Build up smooth, wide river rocks or driftwood onto the elevated side of the bedding. This side of the tank should stay dry and rise up out of the water. Gently slope the peat moss or soil and river rocks so the incline won't be too steep for your turtle to climb. Get a hiding box at the pet supply store and place it in the basking area. Your turtle will appreciate having a cozy spot to hide. Keep in mind the water in the tank will need to be deeper if you have an aquatic turtle. Make the basking area's height more than twice the turtle's length to ensure it'll be above water. To continue, say next.
Next.
Step 4. Add water to the tank. You can fill the tank with tap water, provided your water doesn't have high chlorine levels. If you have a box turtle, the water should be shallow enough that the turtle can lift its chin above the surface when it's submerged. Box turtles can drown in deeper water. If you have an aquatic species, such as a pond terrapin, remember that the water should be at least twice as deep as the turtle's length. Find a chlorine test kit online, at a pet supply store, or at a home improvement store. If your tap water's chlorine level is above 0, fill the tank with bottled water or purchase a dechlorinating agent at the pet supply store. To continue, say next.
Next.
Step 5. Use a reptile lamp to heat the basking zone. Creating a temperature gradient with a hot side and cooler side is an important part of raising reptiles. Purchase a reptile lamp with a reflector at the pet store. Make sure it's labeled for reptiles. Keep a thermometer in the tank, and make sure the basking zone's temperature stays between 85 and 90 degrees Fahrenheit, 29 and 32 degrees Celsius. If your reptile lamp uses an incandescent bulb, you'll also need to buy a UVA/UVB fluorescent lamp. UV light provides your turtle with vitamin D, which helps it absorb calcium. UV lamps need to be replaced every 6 months to a year. You'll need to turn the lamp off at night, but the tank cannot cool to less than 60 degrees Fahrenheit, 16 degrees Celsius. If the tank's air and water temperatures get too cool at night, place the tank on a heating pad and purchase a water heater at the pet store. You should set the UV lamp approximately 12 inches away from where your turtle will be. It's wise to set up the tank at least 2 weeks before getting your turtle so you can perfect the temperature and other environmental conditions. To continue, say next.
Next.
Step 6. Install a filter to help keep the water clean. Invest in a filter labeled for a volume of water at least twice that of your tank. Suppose you have an aquatic turtle. You house it in a 100 US gal, 380 liters, tank, and half of the tank is filled with water. Since the tank contains about 50 US gal, 190 liters, of water, go with a filter labeled for 100 to 150 US gal, 380 to 570 liters. When you're at the pet supply store, ask an employee for advice about purchasing a filter. Even though you're using a water filter, you'll still need to remove feces and other debris from the tank with a net every day. To keep the water cleaner, feed your turtle in a separate tank. To continue, say next.
Next.
Final step. Invest in a smaller backup tank. A backup tank will come in handy if you need to transport your turtle. Additionally, you'll have to clean the main tank regularly, and you'll need a place to store your turtle in the meantime. Since it's only for temporary use, the backup tank doesn't have to be big. Just make sure your turtle has some room to crawl around. To keep your turtle warm, transfer the heat lamp to the backup tank when it's in use. Okay, you've reached the end of the article. To hear it again from the beginning, ask how to care for turtles. Or, you can ask how to do something else. What would you like to do?
Exit.